Hello there gorgeous gamers and welcome back to Pure Play TV, and we've got another review for you, and this time we're burning rubber in Gran Turismo 7, but not the regular PS5 version. No, we're looking at the game through the fancy and expensive lenses of the PSVR 2. Let's do it. Polyphony Digital knows how to create a racing game to near perfection. They've been at it for over 20 years now, so it's expected that anything to release with the developer's name attached will impress, and impress Gran Turismo 7 did. Though I must admit, I never played the game before the PSVR 2 update dropped. I'm a Forza Horizon man. Give me bright lights and stupid stunts all day long. But also give me VR racing all day and all night, and that's something the Forza Horizon series is sadly missing. So in the hunt for my next VR racing fix after Drive Club VR, which was a truly great game on the original PSVR headset, I plonked down €70 for Gran Turismo 7 to play it on the PSVR 2. Little did I know, a few weeks later the game would go on sale for half that price. Am I mad? A little bit. But I still feel like I've gotten my money's worth and more, because Gran Turismo 7 on PSVR 2 is truly brilliant. This isn't a pared-back version of the game, a la Drive Club VR, or, even worse, the VR mode for Gran Turismo Sport on PS4. This is the full game in VR. Everything from the single-player campaign to the online suite is fully playable inside the headset, and all without compromising the series' signature gameplay. The graphics do take a slight hit, though in the heat of hitting the straights at 150 miles an hour, you'd be hard-pressed to notice. The cutbacks to get the game running on Sony's headset are minimal, and easily on par with what you'd get in the non-VR version on PS4, which is impressive any way you look at it. Now, if it's not already clear, I'm not ordinarily a sim racer kind of man. I've already professed my love of the arcadey Forza Horizon series, but I still hold Gran Turismo 7 in the highest regard, at least when it comes to VR racing, because, let's face it, there's not much competition, especially on PSVR 2 in the racing space. It kind of wins by default, but that's not a knock against the game. Everything about it screams quality. The detailed interiors of the car make the transition to VR beautifully. I literally fell out of my chair, leaning around and bending down to inspect the dashboards of cars. You can get right up close to everything and not lose a pixel of detail. If you're a petrolhead, this is paradise. I'm not a petrolhead, so for me, it's just really cool. What matters most is the gameplay, the racing, the thrill of hitting the final corner, taking on that difficult opponent and bounding to the finish line. It's always a thrill, even when you're on the brakes, slowing down for a tricky corner that you've spun out on before. It's even more of a thrill when you're barreling down the straights in a supercar that you'd never afford in real life, hitting 200 miles an hour with a turn coming up. Do you brake early, slow down and play it safe? Or will you risk throwing your lunch into your lap by hitting that turn at full speed, relying on the e-brakes and the special tyres that you bought before the race? I've had my fair share of spin-outs and throw-ups, and I don't regret a single one. I'm a VR veteran by now, and my VR legs are well and truly trained, but there's something about the realism of Gran Turismo that puts my brain and belly at odds. I've put in dozens of hours, and at this point, I'm still floored by it all, and not just in the pukey way. It's the little things that get me, like the glare of the sun on the dashboard speedometer, the headlights of another racer seeping in from behind, illuminating my cockpit, the subtle change from day to night during a race, where the sun slowly dims, the headlights on cars come on, and the race is transformed into another being, almost. It's odd but wonderful, and one of the best experiences I've had with a headset strapped to my face. There are multiple ways to enjoy Gran Turismo VR, and given that this is a virtual reality game, having your hands play a part is a big deal. Sadly though, and this is just one of the very few shortcomings of the game, those fancy new VR controllers are no good here. I'd hoped that I'd be able to use them as analogues for my own hands, to grip the wheel and turn, but it's not to be. If you want the true racing experience, you're going to need to shell out for a racing wheel, or alternatively, you can use the DualSense 5's motion controls, which is how I play the game, and to be honest, it's decent enough, and I never feel hampered by the lack of a £200 hunk of plastic on my lap. Of course, it's not going to feel quite as good as having a real wheel setup, but it does the job. though it does get the arms aching after a while. Of course, if you want to play with the regular pad and regular controls, you can do that too. But why would you want to do that? Why wouldn't you do everything you can to put yourself in the game? In my opinion, anybody who could play with the motion controls but chooses to use the sticks is doing themselves a disservice. Gran Turismo 7 at this time goes down as one of the few must-play games on PSVR 2. Even if you're not really a fan of racing, I'm almost positive that you'll get a kick out of driving a car in VR. The normal rules of the road don't apply here. You can trade a bit of paint, swear loud and free at other drivers, and go as fast as your car allows. Try doing that in your financed car with your rip-off insurance. Mind you, this is a sim racer after all, so while you're free from speeding tickets and serious injury, you're not free from the physics of smashing a 2-ton machine down the tracks. This is not an arcade experience. Drifting is hard, and unless you're one of those actual Duke boys, you'll struggle to throw your weight around with any meaning. You'll hit the barriers, your headset will rumble to let you know you've been an idiot, and you'll lose vital seconds off your lap time, and perhaps even the race. Did that stop me from trying? Did it hell. I still hit the corners like I was playing Ridge Racer, and about 4.7% of the time I made it through in style. The rest, well, I had to come crawling back to the track with my tail between my legs, which was embarrassing when playing online. The point is that the game hits the realism hard and then leans on it with all of its weight. If you're coming in like me from the Forza Horizon series, then take the time to acclimate and maybe do some of those licenses to learn how to drive for real. All said and done, Gran Turismo 7 is a racer's paradise. It's a realistic simulation that hits all the right notes without compromising, even when playing with a PSVR 2 headset on your face. Competition is non-existent at this time on PSVR 2, so Gran Turismo is the best there is, but I do hope for a real challenger one day. For now though, I'll keep grinding in Gran Turismo 7 and I'll keep my puke bucket close to hand. And that is the end of this review. Thank you as always for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, do us a solid, go on down below, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and give the bell icon a tap so you're notified whenever we've got new stuff for you to watch. I've been Chris, you've been gorgeous, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, cheers my dears.